first, it's the shocking new film that's blowing the lid off one of Hollywood's most closely guarded secrets. Who are those people that come up with the ratings on movies? G, PG, PG-13, R? In a new documentary called This Film Is Not Yet Rated, Oscar-nominated director Kirby goes undercover to find out. Kirby is with us tonight, and we'll be speaking with him in just a sec. But first, let's take a look at This Film Is Not Yet Rated.
For 35 years, a secret group has controlled the way you see movies.
There are clergy in the room.
These are moral censors.
They forced great filmmakers to change their art.
I was so devastated.
I got the call and they said NC-17. That's when my blood turned to ice.
Because the studio won't release your movie.
No advertising budget. You can't run TV spots.
No one's ever found out who they are.
Who is controlling this thing and how are they controlling it?
No one knows. That's the whole point.
Until now.
We're actually hiring a private investigator to try to find out who these people are on the board.
It's time. The MPAA got a rating of its own.
The MPAA is that pinkish color building. There's absolutely no way of going in.
When an Oscar-nominated director and a private dick.
So they're going to all start coming out. We'll take some plates. That's the camera. It looks just like a little butt.
Dig deep.
Oh, a lot of women. We need to go for this.
Let me put in my safety belt.
He's not even looking. I got him. Right there. Got a raider.
To expose Hollywood's dirtiest secrets.
Whoa! One woman is topless, breast exposed. So what I don't understand is who's counted the You ever do interviews at all?
No.
I'm always divulging a lot here. At some point, I think I have to draw a line.
If you're seeing my pubic hair, we get an NC-17.
Violence is fine, sex isn't.
You almost got us caught. They were going, look at that man. Is he filming us?
Discover the movie.
You are dealing with a very powerful censorship group.
Hollywood doesn't want you to see.
I'm going to say the F word. It's the fascist system.
This film is not yet rated.
Hi, is this the MPAA? I'd like to submit my film for a rating. It's a documentary. It's about how films are rated.
Censorship gets
well, Kirby Dick became sort of a PI, a private dick, so to speak, in his quest to get the truth behind the movie rating system. Kirby Dick joining me in New York. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
This is a fascinating film, and one of the things I was shocked to learn is that the movie ratings are basically decided by 10 random parents in the Los Angeles area. That's nuts.
It is, and no one knows who those parents are until this film came out. Their names have been kept secret for nearly 30 years.
And how do they get this gig? Do they have any formal training? Is anybody walking them through it, saying this is exactly the standard that you need to hold these things to? Guidelines of any kind?
No, this is one of the most unprofessional boards operating in this country today. There are no professionally developed standards. There are essentially no written standards. The raters receive no training. They're hired one day and put in the ratings room the next and begin rating films.
So is it all a big joke?
Well, not exactly, because, this is important information for parents to have, but it's done by a very unprofessional board, so that parents really don't get the guideline that they need to help in making their decision to tell their children what they should see.
Which leads to a lot of differences in the standards we see applied to the ratings movies get. I was really shocked to learn that violence seems to get less harsh ratings than movies involving sex. American Psycho comes to mind as a great example. When it was originally submitted, it had these very violent and graphic scenes, axe murder and the chainsaw scene going on, and there was also a sex scene in it. It had an NC-17 rating. They pulled the sex scene out, and it got knocked down to an R rating?
Exactly, and it's just the opposite in Europe, where they're much more concerned with violence and the impact on children as opposed to sex. But here, the reason that violence gets the less restrictive rating is because that's the kind of films that the studios make. They appeal to adolescent audiences. Adolescents like violence, and the studios want their films to get out with the least restrictive ratings to the widest possible audience.
And is this going on all the time in terms of ratings getting knocked down? If you knock a sex scene out, or just because it's violent, that doesn't mean it's not going to get anything worse than an R?
Yes, but there's no written standard, so and it's entirely secret, so no one really knows how this system operates.
It's just crazy to me. It just sounds so arbitrary in so many ways. And of course, some of the things that can make you really angry are some of the biases that you see come out in terms of how films are rated. I know you uncovered that films, for instance, with a gay theme may get a harsher rating than one without.
Exactly. There's a homophobic bias built into the rating structure, and I think that's really unfortunate. I think it's up to parents around the country to decide whether they want their children, what kind of films they want their children to see, and not 10 anonymous parents living in Los Angeles.
You learned a lot in the course of making this and being a private investigator, so to speak, and figuring out how this really works and showing it to us. But of everything you picked out, of everything you learned, what really shocked you the most and really surprised you that, hey, this is going on?
I think it was the secrecy, that this system has been secret for 30 years and no one really knows how it operates.
And why are they so secretive about it, though? Is it embarrassment for how ludicrous it all seems?
I mean, the Motion Picture Association of America controls this system, and the MPAA is made up of the 6 major film studios. So they want to keep control of this rating system because the less restrictive film, a film that gets a less restrictive rating gets out to a wider audience. And so by keeping it secret, no one really can criticize what's going on inside.
Do you see it changing anytime soon?
I hope so. I hope people see this film and get very outraged. And you can go to the IFC website and sign a petition demanding a change from the MPAA.
Kirby Dick, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
The film is called Not Yet Rated, and it will be in theaters on Friday.